I'm Joanna Lewis from Georgetown University, and my memo examines the global geopolitics of China's clean energy transition. For this video, I will focus on three key points. First, China has become a predominant location for investments in the production of clean energy technologies. As a result, it has become the central node in supply chains for many of the technologies that will be critical to the clean energy transition. China produces over half of the world's solar wafers, cells, modules, wind blades, nacelles, and towers, as well as EV batteries, anodes and cathodes, and the EVs themselves. In many cases, the share is in fact well over 50%. China also processes over 50% of many of the critical materials needed to produce clean energy technologies. This includes polysilicon, lithium, cobalt, and the rare earth elements. The second point is that while there are some risks to being integrated with China, these risks are only in some of these supply chain component areas. As we found in the recent paper I co-authored in Science, there is significant heterogeneity in the economic risks of integrating with China across clean energy technologies. Furthermore, we found that the national security risks across the technologies examined, solar PV, batteries, wind turbines, green steel, and carbon capture technologies, are more homogeneous and generally at low levels, given their limited system-wide impacts on critical infrastructure. As a result, we should not take a one-size-fits-all approach to integration or to decoupling from Chinese supply chains in the clean energy sector. And third, there are significant risks to decoupling from China in the clean energy sector in terms of jeopardizing our ability to meet global climate targets. Across clean energy supply chains, there are bottlenecks that necessitate unrealistic production scale-up in a full decoupling scenario. Removing China from solar PV supply chains, for example, would require an increase in wafer production capacity of over 5,000%. Lithium refining capacity for battery production would have to grow by more than 8,500%. And it is highly unlikely that such growth rates could be achieved in the short time frame remaining until 2030. Although full decoupling is likely not possible and would surely slow down the global deployment of clean energy technologies, there are certainly opportunities to reshape global supply chains in the clean energy sector quite significantly that would allow both China and the rest of the world to take advantage of new markets being developed. A concerted effort, however, is going to be required to develop clean energy supply chains in the parts of the world that currently have no clear pathway to enter these industries through existing supply chain linkages or through resource endowments. And this is particularly going to be an issue in the developing world.